Breaking news in relation to the fugitive manhunt involving a New Orleans jail escape where 19 days ago, 10 prisoners would escape from that jail. And at this point, there are still 2 remaining fugitives at large, Derek Groves and Antoine Massey. By now, most of you have probably seen that just yesterday, Antoine Massey would take to Instagram in a 10-minute video proclaiming not only his innocence, but also that he didn't escape from the jail. He was let out. He also talks about Sterling Williams, a potential ex-girlfriend of his by the name of Diamond White, and also makes a plea to the likes of Lil Wayne, Meek Mills, and even President Donald Trump, asking for help in this situation. We're about to check this video out, hear what Antoine Massey has to say, and you decide for yourself what to take from what this guy just shared yesterday with the entire world. Let's take a look at some context clues right here. Again, today marks 19 days since this escape took place. Let's look at the layout of this video. Antoine Massey is wearing a nice tracksuit. He's got a decent pair of shoes on, though you can't see it from this angle, but you will. And he looks to be in some sort of a residence, somebody's home. Doesn't look like an abandoned one either, given that kitchen decor in the background. It's safe to say this guy has some help. Somebody is harboring him. And if and when this person gets found out about, they are definitely going to be arrested. But where would this guy have these type of resources at? He seems to be a New Orleans guy, something that I was able to take from this video, as one of the pleas that he makes is to Lil Wayne, saying that one of his relatives knew Lil Wayne personally. Given that it is 19 days separated from this escape, given the extensive dragnet that every authoritative agency has put on the city of New Orleans and also the state of Louisiana, I can only imagine how crazy would it be to think this guy is still somewhere relatively close. I personally don't believe that he is, but when you look at the layout in which this video has been filmed, you gotta wonder, is he all that far away? And would he have resources states away? Extended family? Can't be none of them. The authorities would have already been down on them.
Massey, I'm one of the ones that was let out of GC. What I want to talk about today as far as why I was in Orleans Parish Jail. I was in custody for almost 8 months. All right, 6 months, something like that.
He says that he was in custody for 6 to 8 months. It's interesting that he doesn't really know exactly how long he was locked up for, but he also mentions that he was let out. I wonder what he means by that. You know, if you're going to share everything that he's going to in this video, why not just let the whole cat out of the bag?
For theft of a motor vehicle and domestic abuse involving strangulation. That's what I was in Orleans Parish for. Okay, but before I was in Orleans Parish, I was in a jail called St. Tammany Detention Center. All right, St. Tammany Jail here in St. Tammany Parish. There's 2 different parishes, Orleans and St. Tammany. Okay, today what I want to talk about is that I was on 2nd-degree kidnapping, 2nd-degree domestic abuse, battery involving strangulation, domestic abuse, battery, violation of protective order, right? On this woman right here, her name is Diamond White. That's her name. This is a district attorney drop form right here. And she's not a child, she's an adult, a full adult. I was dating this woman. This is a legalized affidavit saying all allegations against me is false.
The premise of what this guy is trying to share about is that he is innocent, saying that these allegations, including that bad charge of rape, is not true. Domestic abuse, strangulation, breaking a protective order, all of that is not true, because what he just showed you, that district attorney drop form with the girl's signature, and she's the one that filled that out. That's a woman's handwriting right there. She went down to drop the charges on this guy. Here's the thing. When the police arrive or somebody goes down to a magistrate to file charges, it doesn't matter if later on down the road the victim decides that they don't want to pursue it anymore and they do what he's showing right there, go and attempt to drop charges, the district attorney can still pursue the case. And ultimately, to end up with these type of charges, you broke a protective order, so that means that there's already been a previous track record between you and this woman. Do I think that her? I don't know.
All allegations against me is false. I was nowhere around her or none of that during the timing of the date, which was November the 10th of 2024. Okay, so I was in Centennial, right, and I was on a regular domestic charge, right. So they put a parole hold on me because I was on a domestic charge. So with that being said, is that once that occurred, and the charges was refused or whatever, they shipped me to Orleans Parish where I had more open charges, was the theft of a motor vehicle and the domestic abuse, battery, involving strangulation. So once I got in Orleans Parish jail, all right, I have from the district attorney's office, this woman who they say that I initially raped in another parish and in Orleans Parish is the same woman here. It's not different females. It's the same grown woman, not a child, a grown woman. Okay, she did the same thing in Orleans Parish, right? Correct. I'm about to show you how the system is corrupted. Okay, she did this, right? Saying all allegations against me is false, and she even saying it. You know, she let them know the truth that I never did this to her. I never hit her. I was nowhere around her. Nothing. She got mad and thought that I was dealing with another woman. That's why she did what she did to me.
I've seen this before, where a woman's going to put charges out on you because she thinks that you're messing with another woman. I hear you what you're saying in relation to that. There could very well be some truth to what this guy shares in relation to that. But here's the thing. I truly feel like, one, let me say this as well. What this guy is trying to do is just really trying to make sure that people know he's not a. He was in St. Tammany Parish on all of those domestic charges, including that bad charge and strangulation. And in Orleans Parish, where he was let out of, he had a theft of a motor vehicle and another domestic abuse strangulation charge, which he says all of these charges, and I don't know if the theft of the motor vehicle also pertains to this woman as well, but he's saying that all of these charges between the two parishes involve the same woman who would end up going down to the district attorney's office and filling out a drop form to drop charges, saying that these things never happened and that she did this because she was mad at him. Now, all we have at this point is his side of the story. We do have the paperwork that he is showing, but all we have is his side of the story. And let me tell you, if you put false charges on somebody, you could end up being arrested for that yourself, for filing a false police report. Also, let us not forget that the woman in question here, by the name of Diamond White, was arrested. I'm not sure if she's still in custody right this second or not, but she was arrested as an accomplice to helping this guy, Antoine Massey, further continue to be a fugitive. And in fact, it was reported in another story that Diamond White and Antoine Massey's sister were in communication, where they both had said that they hope he never gets caught, and that 6 days after the escape, authorities would run down on Antoine Massey's sister's home. But they were just a little too late. They were able to see through phone records that Antoine Massey was there and that he had tampered with evidence, or the sister did, or the ex-girlfriend did. A victim of abuse arrested as an accomplice. One of the women accused of helping Antoine Massey, this is unbelievable to me, and almost seems to illustrate some Stockholm syndrome. It seems like one of the women accused of helping Massey and described by police as his paramour also suffered from years of physical abuse from him, court records show. The woman who had previously filed a protective order against Massey after he attempted to strangle her was aware of his planned escape and later misled authorities, police said. She exchanged messages with Massey's 31-year-old sister saying they hoped he never gets caught. The fact of the matter is this guy escaped from jail. They're not going to overlook that. And it's not like this is his first escape neither. This is his fourth escape. But again, I really feel like what this guy is hoping to do here is just to clear his name of that bad allegation.
You know what I'm saying? Another thing too, once I got into Orlean Parish, I was there for like, a month or something like that. Okay, a lot went on as that time progressed. Okay, if you was an innocent person and you know the judges and DA know that this person is saying that all the charges that you're on, that you did not do, why was you still in jail? Louisiana have the highest incarceration rate in the world for putting black people away. Yes, at the end of the day, in my younger life, I'm not gonna lie, I was causing problems. I was young. My daddy got killed when I was 7 years old. My mom had to raise 4 children by herself, so I had to find a way to try to help my mother.
This guy says if the judge and the DA knows that you're innocent in this case, why would you stay in jail? Is how that sounded. But I think he probably was trying to say, why would you still be in jail? But it definitely came across like, why would you stay in jail? And if that's how it was meant to sound, well, clearly he didn't stay in jail.
You know what I'm saying? But as time went on, the person that I once was, I'm not that person today. That is not who I am. I have a 3-year-old son. I have an 18-year-old daughter that graduated yesterday, supposed to be. At the end of the day, that people don't understand that they see that I'm armed and dangerous. I have a heart. People that know me know that at the end of the day, I am a good person. So I'm asking for help from the world, from Meek Mills, Lil Wayne, Young Boy, Donald Trump. I'm asking for these people. I couldn't even get a lawyer. I couldn't even afford a lawyer to prove my innocence while I was in Orlean Parish jail. They say that I broke out. I didn't break out. I was let out. My name is Antoine Massey. The guy who said that I threatened him with a shank, the maintenance guy, how could I threaten you with a shank? If you can't come around me, you're a maintenance. You cannot come on the tills without a deputy being behind you.
That's an interesting point that he brings up right there in relation to Sterling Williams. He's going to go on and continue talking about Sterling using just his first name, which makes it sound like these guys knew each other somewhat. He says he's not the person that he used to be. He's not an armed and dangerous fugitive. He has children. He's a changed man. I don't want to sound negative, but buddy, you're a fugitive, a fourth offender in relation to escape. I haven't found a good place to throw this in here yet, so I'll just throw it in right now. Kind of neither here nor there, but, take notice of the tattoos on his face that a lot of people said were going to be hard to cover up, hard to conceal, probably would lead to this guy getting apprehended sooner than later. Ironic to note, he's one of the 2 remaining guys on the run. What is Derek Groves thinking about all of this? This guy has slipped under the radar big time, but Antoine Massey actually has what I believe is a king chess piece tattooed between his eyes on his forehead right there, and possibly either 2 castles is what that looks like. I thought it was 2 pawns at first, but it does look like 2 castles, and I also thought that it was 2 shotgun shells at first. But I wonder what that symbolizes. King chess piece tattooed on the forehead, standing over 2 castles underneath each eye. Is he a king that looks over his castle? Or could it be some kind of affiliation?
Because if they just let you on a till, you could be persuaded to bring drugs or anything like that nature. So how can I threaten you to jail you? And why you didn't notify the people, the police, that if I did threaten you, you never did that. Like, you flat out lied on me. Sterling flat out lied on me. And I want to let the media know that from the straight tattoos in my face and things of that nature, of course they're going to believe Sterling.
I'm going to have to object to that. Because of the tattoos on your face, people are going to believe Sterling over you. Sterling was a civilian, a jail maintenance worker. You are a 4-time escapee, and I hate to sound so callous in this because I know that this video is going to humanize this guy, and I'm not trying to take away from that at all. I need to tell you, since this video dropped yesterday, there's been hundreds of people who have tagged me in this. And then there's also been people who have been coming into the comments of these videos kind of going in on me because they are feeling compassion for this guy. This guy is a human being. He does deserve a fair shake no matter what it is, even with that bad allegation on him. I'm sure that there's quite a bit more to the story in terms of what led to him being incarcerated with those charges that he has. But the fact of the matter is buddy, you escaped. I don't believe that you were going to have, I don't think for this guy, and I'm going to say this, to his defense, if these allegations were bogus, I think he was damned if he did and damned if he didn't. Even if the allegations were bogus, he was going to go into the courtroom and get smoked regardless. Said he couldn't afford a paid lawyer, so he was going to have a court-appointed lawyer who was probably going to do nothing for him. So why not risk the escape? What do you have to lose at that point? And by doing this video that he's doing, at least he gets the opportunity to speak to the world because this thing has gone unbelievably viral and share your piece. But also, I kind of feel like at the same time, he's trying to humanize himself. He's kind of throwing everybody under the bus a little bit. Sterling and the ex-girlfriend. And if she was one of those scorned type of women who gets jealous because of him potentially dealing with another woman, and I hate to say that about her if that's not true. Gosh almighty, imagine how mad she'd be when they find out what woman's house he's potentially up in right now. Because when I think about where he's probably being harbored at, it probably is by some form of a love interest.
You know what I'm saying? I never told Sterling nothing. I'm willing to take a lie detector test and everything behind that. But that's another subject. Orleans Parish is one of the corruptedest jails. That in St. Tammany Parish is the corruptedest jails in the state of Louisiana.
I believe that.
Why was I even incarcerated with a woman saying that this never happened? This is this woman's name. This is the charge, domestic abuse violation. This is...
You know, I got to go back to that real quick because he keeps saying that that's a drop form to drop the charges. But when I look at it, run that one more time.
Corruptedest jails in the state of Louisiana. Why was I even incarcerated with a woman saying that this never happened?
That is a contact request form, request to speak with something, assistant district attorney, a contact request form, request to speak. Okay, so yeah. That's what that is. That's a request form to speak with something assistant district attorney. So it looks like the woman went and filled out that information, that paperwork, and possibly was able to speak with that guy, Jason Williams, the district attorney for New Orleans, and say, hey, look, I want to drop charges if that's what all of this is.
Happened. This is this woman's name. This is the
request to speak with assigned assistant district attorney is what that is right there.
charge, domestic abuse violation. This is about the shit in St. Tammany. Why would I, in Orleans Parish, why was I even in jail? That's what I'm trying to show y'all. That's why I left the jail. And they have a lot more brothers that's innocent, just like me.
He left the jail because he was innocent. Okay, now, regardless if that's true or not, buddy, that escape charge, it's going to stick. They're not going to have sympathy for you for this situation. In fact, the only person that could help you in your pleas for Meek Mill's, Lil Wayne, Young Boy, is President Donald Trump. Do you think that the president has seen this video yet? I mean, this video is gaining worldwide notoriety as we speak. Do you think somebody has brought this to the president, like, Mr. President, take a look at this? Lil Wayne, Meek Mills, the money that they could put toward a lawyer, I mean, who knows? Maybe with the most high-paid lawyer, Buddy would stand some sort of a chance. But I don't think he stands a snowball's chance in hell, to be honest, even with that. And he is delusional if he thinks that he does.
That's trying to prove their innocence. That's why they ran.
Oh, that was the other part that I needed to grab right there. He said that there's plenty of brothers in that jail who are innocent, and he said that's why they ran. Do you think that there's truth to that? Of those 10 who escaped, how many of them do you think actually are innocent? You know, maybe in this guy's case, what he's sharing is true. This girl put these bogus charges on him, and I'm just saying that as a plausible situation, a possible thing. I can't confirm nor deny. Nobody can. The only person who could would be the woman Diamond White. She's the only one. We got to hear her side of the story before anybody could say one way or another what's really up in this story. Corey Boyd, accused of running a guy over in a car who tried to intervene when him and his posse were breaking into vehicles. Derek Groves, the other escapee still on the run right now, accused of a double murder. But he's saying that these guys were innocent.
Jason Williams,
the prosecutor,
sheriff,
Susan Hudson.
These people are corrupted. These people was talking to St. Tammany and telling St. Tammany they gonna sentence me behind this, and telling St. Tammany if they can't get me, St. Tammany gonna get me. You see what I'm saying? Behind a woman that's a grown adult that never stated that I ever raped her. They have a detective that's over the case, that's trying to pursue charges on me because of my prior history. Who I was in the past is not who I am today. So I'm asking for the media. I don't even have a lawyer to help me. I'm asking for help. That's why I ran. You feel me? I'm a grown.
I'm sorry. I'm just having a hard time buying in. I'm just calling it for what it is. And for those who are buying into this, hey, everybody's entitled to their opinion. Are you buying what he's selling here? Will there be some sort of a crowdfunding endeavor to try to raise money to help this guy? How wild would that be? Everybody deserves to have their voice heard, their side of the story heard. I went into this yesterday when I first saw this video. I wanted to hear what he had to say. Maybe there was something that we were missing. Unfortunately, what he's sharing, it's just not, it is a tough situation. If you were locked up for something that you didn't do, and because of your prior history, they were going to smoke you in the courtroom, you need to keep in mind this guy broke a protective order. So whatever was taking place between him and this woman, Diamond White, obviously was plenty of toxic shit. Was it mutual or was it one-sided? Until anybody hears from her, all we have is his side of the story.
Man, I have kids. I have a mother. I have a baby mother, a child, my children mother. Like it's a lot going on, and that's why I ran. I need help. You feel what I'm saying? Orleans Parish and St. Tammany is one of the corruptest parishes in the world, and I'm asking for help. It's a lot of corruption. It's jiggins, all type of stuff going on, and they covering it up. They don't care about nothing in the state of Louisiana. This is something that needs to go under a federal investigation.
For sure.
What's going on? How they handling cases? Why Antoine Massey was in jail if the woman, the victim, the grown woman, not a child, the grown woman stated that he never raped her. He never beat her. He was nowhere in her presence. This is the affidavits on the date right here. This is the drop form from the district attorney.
If he's saying that he was nowhere in the presence of this woman when these allegations were filed and turned into charges, then how the hell did the charges come to be in the first place?
Office, this woman did this. I didn't do this. Look, it's legally dated. So I'm asking, please, for help. Young boy, Meek Mills, people, LBL, you know what I'm saying? People that been through the system that know it's corrupt. Lil Wayne, Donald Trump, please, I'm asking for help. You know what I'm saying? When I get back in custody, I'm asking y'all, please, to come and help me. You feel what I'm saying? I'm asking the world. I'm letting y'all know I'm not a man. I'm not none of that. None of that. I'm a good person. I am a father that want to be in my children's life. You know what I'm saying? I want to let the younger youth know that going down the route of trying to be a street person is not the route. That's what type of person I am. Yes, I was lied on. They made certain lie on me. All the guys they picked me for him to lie on.
Why?
I'm not saying Sterling a bad guy, but why did you pick me to lie on, bro? It's bigger than Sterling. I don't know why they picked me for him to lie on, but I never threatened Sterling ever. How could I threaten Sterling or hurt Sterling? He cannot come on a tip with me without a deputy being present. My name is Antoine Massey. I'm asking for help. I was one of the ones that was let out Orleans Parish Jail on May the 16th or May the 15th, 2025. So please, Meek Mills, Donald Trump, Lil Wayne, please help me. Lil Wayne, this is Big Antoine's son that's talking right now. I'm Lil Antoine. I was in your mama wedding when she married Rabbit. I was the ring boy, Lil Wayne.
He was the ring boy in Lil Wayne's mom's wedding. Yeah, so he's definitely a New Orleans guy. through and through. It is a sad situation if all of this is just some made up shit for what he's locked up for. But with a lengthy criminal record, multiple escapes on his record, this being the fourth, it's hard to know what's real in this situation. And then to say that you were let out of the jail, who let you out? Who let you out? You might start to go down a path of like, okay, well, this sounds like, an unfortunate situation, because even if it is all just made up charges, buddy, you still escaped. They're going to hit you with that escape charge. You're going to do time regardless. Even if it was all of that, then you start talking about you were let out, you didn't threaten Sterling. Maybe there is some truth to that, but who's to know? He said that Sterling picked him out of all of the guys. I don't know what to make of that. Do you think that any of the people that he is appealing to take notice of this situation and advocate for him?
Please help me, bro.
And that's where the video stops at. I'll be curious to know what all of you think of this situation. If you haven't seen this video, I'm sure that this is wild to see. If you had already seen this video, I appreciate you allowing me to share my piece and my take on what was shared by this guy. I think it is brazen to take to social media to try to plead your case. By doing so, are you giving the authorities a leg up in the manhunt to get you apprehended again? I'm going to wrap this up right here and hope that you guys found some interest in this video. If you did so, please leave a like and a comment letting me know your thoughts in relation to everything we just heard. Folks, if you're new here and finding yourself on After Prison Show enjoying the content, please consider subscribing and turning on bell notifications. It would certainly be appreciated and also go a long ways to helping to support this channel. As always, until next time, enjoy life, the free world. Never take a moment for granted and make the most of every day. Peace.